Hello everyone, or welcome on into Planet Zoo. I'm Velvet and thanks for joining me today for a brand new exciting zoo. So let's check out what we are getting ourselves into today.
Woo.
We've been working through all of the zoos in career scenarios, and today we are going to be starting a brand new one from the Zookeeper DLC. It's called the main event and it's for Frontier Zoo. Emma is working on a new project where your expertise would be invaluable. Frontier Zoo is turning 5 and they're throwing a big celebration at their HQ zoo to mark the occasion. Let's make sure it's a super anniversary they'll never forget. Ooh, okay, well, let's check this one out. As always, we're going hardcore, we're going hard, and let's see what the zoo is. Frontier Zoo. Hello, it's Emma. I'm working on a new project, and as I mapped out the key components, it became clear that your expertise would be invaluable. I'd asked Nancy, but I hear she's quite fulfilled in her retirement. I'm sure you've heard about Frontier Zoo. They're a company that focuses on rescuing animals and rehabilitating them in zoos like ours. They partner with wildlife sanctuaries and conservation organisations to ensure the animals are going to the right places. So they're a big deal in the global zoo market. You could say it's in their nature. Anyway, a Frontier Zoo is turning 5 and they're throwing a big celebration at their HQ zoo to mark the occasion. I think with our combined strengths, we could really push the boundaries of what's possible here. I'm working through clearing the backlog of tasks, but I could use your help. Some African spurred tortoise rescues need a place in the zoo, and the African leopards are ready to move to a breeding program. Thanks in advance. Emma. Let's hit pause. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so it looks like we're doing a bit of conservation work this time around, which is pretty exciting. I'm there for that. We've got some space there. We'll have to find the entrance to the zoo. But anyway, what do we need to do? Let's find out. Bronze objectives. We need to adopt and place the gifted African spurred tortoises, transfer the African spurred tortoises to the trade centre, move the African spurred tortoises to quarantine. Right. So set up the African spurred tortoise habitat. So add feeding station, food enrichment, toy enrichment, increase terrain welfare to 90%. Ooh, interesting. Adopt and place 3 African spurred tortoises, so found in the rewards section of animal trading, and increase African leopard overall welfare to 90% for 3 months. Release 3 African leopards to the wild. Increase African spurred tortoise education rating to 20%. There's a lot in bronze objectives. Oh my gosh. I mean, it doesn't seem overly difficult to say, in saying that, but there's a lot. Increase African spurred tortoise education rating to 20%. Research African spurred tortoise to level 3 and have at least 1 animal talks in a year. Right. So silver objectives, adopt and place 2 spectacled bears. Have at least 5 different habitat species in the zoo, have at least 1,200 guests in the zoo, increase guest average hunger to 70%, increase guest average thirst to 65%, and set the spectacled bear food quality to grade 2. So that's just research. And then our gold level is adopt and place 3 cockerel siphakas. I don't even know what that is. What's a cockerel? I mean, it sounds like a bird. Place a loony balloons. Place a hat's fantastic. Increase the average habitat species overall welfare to 90%. Oh god. Breed 6 new habitat animals of different species. Release 7 of any habitat species to the wild. Have at least 7 tour points in your zoo. Oh my gosh. And achieve an overall zoo rating of 4.5 out of 5. Oh no. I want to cry. This is so hard. This is so much. Okay. So let's just find where the front of our zoo is. Where do people come in? So from when we zoomed in and they did the little mini tour at the start, I feel like this is going to be if I get out of the trees, this is going to be our spawn point. Right, okay, so this is our spawn point here. So they come in through here and then off to the zoo from here. So we need to have, the gist of this is 6 new habitat animals of different species. And let's see how many we've got at the moment. So the only thing we've got at the moment is the African leopards, right? Which are where? Over here. Okay, so they're in like a little drop-down enclosure, which I never know how to make properly. Okay. So they have no enrichment. So I think a big thing is going to be animal research, and we're going to have to make some space. So leave me with it, and I will make some space for setting up our zoo. So I've got a couple of little enclosures set up near the front. I've moved some bits and pieces around. It's probably going to be a lot more than I need to do, but that's a start anyhow. So let's go into our animal trading, and we'll go to animal rewards. We'll go boop. Transfer to animal storage. Okay, and then what do we need to do? I think we needed to send them to quarantine, which I normally don't do. Maybe that's something I should be doing. I don't know. But let's send them straight into... Let's just pause on that and just check if I have a quarantine first. So let's go into facilities and infrastructure. No, staff. Quarantine. Alright. So we've got a quarantine over here. I've never done this, weirdly enough. So we'll go like that. Send to zoo and then send to quarantine. Alright, we've done it. Relocating to quarantine. Okay, so I think we can push play there. So next up we need to set up the African spurred tortoise habitat. So we've got that over here. African spurred tortoise. So food, water. I do need to set up work zones and stuff too as well. I'm going to add in like a couple of heaters just because I feel like they need it. We're going to have an animal burrow and a little shelter down here as well. So give them the choice. They can go down or they can stay up. Okay, and then we need some enrichment items, of which we have none. Alright, I need to pause again because I don't know what I've got in the way of stuff. So I noticed as I was doing the work zones that there is like all of these little sunken areas are actually habitats set up ready to go. I don't love them. I don't know how that'll go, but we'll try it out. I'm not one for sunken habitats, but I don't know. We'll see what animals we'll get. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, staffing. So at the moment we've got 2 vets. So I'm going to put them in the everything zone. And we have 2 keepers. So I'm going to have 1 in the front animals, 1 in the sunken animals. And then mechanics will go everything. And security guards and blah, blah, blah. Alright. So we've got quite a... I feel like that's too many security guards. I'm going to get rid of a security guard. I don't feel we need 3. Also, I don't feel like we need 3 mechanics either. Now, we do need an educator, so I am going to hire an educator. So, yeah, because we need that for our talks over here, because I have set over here, because I have set those up, but I need an animal to go in here. So, this is all kind of set up for our tortoises at this stage. So, we've added a African tortoise. So I assume we're going to move those in here, out of quarantine. I've got to wait till they're in quarantine, probably. Okay, so they're in quarantine. Right, done that. Let's go now, move them into here. It's a bit of a weird way to do this, but anyway. Oh, the other thing that we needed to do, actually, slow that down, is we need to do some vet research. So at the moment, let's do the African leopard, and then as soon as we get the spurred tortoises in, we'll start researching them as well. Because we need to get some enrichment. And I don't know that we had any enrichment. No, we didn't have any, so we need to do some research for the African spurred tortoise as soon as we basically can. So we can start getting our tickety boos for that. But there is a lot to be done under bronze at this point, so I don't know how we're going to go. And getting all that done. So we've set that up, and we've got to increase, add food enrichment, add toy enrichment, and increase terrain welfare to 90%. So let's have a wee look at that. So terrain, so we need some more sand around the place. Okay, and then environment, Africa, grassland, desert. With little trees for them. Okay, so in theory that should be good. Yes, okay, we've got a tick for that. So we just need to add our food enrichment and our toy enrichment. As soon as the African leopard gets increased to 1 and completes, then I'll add that in there. We'll get that happening. So increase African leopard welfare to 90%. So again, we need to probably research them to be able to get the enrichment happening. So I feel like I'm pretty happy with getting their research underway. But let's check in on our African leopards and see what they need. So they definitely need the food enrichment and nutrition, last meal quality. Yeah, they're going to need some research. Now, do we have a water cleaner around here somewhere? Transformer. Wind turbine. No, we don't have a water cleanliness thing over here. So let's... Tickets are underpriced. Alright, well we can add the... So I'm just going to add in a little water treatment facility over here because we've got some water. And I know exactly what's going to happen. And that's going to be that water's going to get dirty. And we're going to have some unhappy leopards. I've been there. I've done that before, thanks. So let's give in, maybe go 8. And I'll leave the kids as they are, 8. So what else do we need to do? So increase African leopard overall welfare. So I think we just need to do the research, get them some stuff. Increase their meal quality and get them some enrichment. I think they should be pretty happy. And we need to hold that for 3 months. Release 3 African leopards to the wild. Do we have any more that we can get? Ooh. Okay, 570 conservation points. They're not kidding around with this, so are they? And then we need to research African spurred tortoise to level 3. Right, so we're going to do research and have at least 1 animal talk in a year. Alright. That leads me to think that we need to get some more animals into our zoo at this point. I'm going to get myself an African crested porcupine. That's a male, and then just need a female. There we go. And so let's get our habitat set up. African crested porcupine. Okay, we've got some shelter and absolutely no enrichment. So we're going to be doing a lot of enrichment research in this one, but that's fine. African crested porcupine. So we have our work zone there set up, I believe. So these are under front animals. So yeah, it's all kind of sorted there. Awesome. So they can come in there. We can start earning a little bit of cash from them. And what that means is that we can start doing our talks as well on that. So now I'm just going to African spurred tortoise. And African spurred tortoise. Educational content right there. And as soon as we have our next, our little porcupines in. Here they come! Hooray! Fantastic. So African crested porcupine educational board, and then we'll be able to have some talks on that as well. Link seating. Confirm, and then we'll have African crested. Allow standing guests, and we'll have that, what are we, August? So we'll pop that into September. Alrighty! So we do have an educator running around as well, and somebody's visiting. Wi-Fi. Now, I do want to put another, probably, enclosure in here at some point, maybe, but I do want to try out some of these sunken enclosures. I don't know how they work. I mean, in theory, I know how they work. Like, that's the gate there, and then you put them in there and they go down there. I guess it works. I don't know. I'm making a lot of assumptions. So what have we got in terms of animals that we can put in there? So I feel like African buffaloes would not be good in this situation. Maybe the African wild dog? I don't know. Alpaca? The Aldeburgh giant tortoise, I think, would go well in here. So let's maybe put them in here. I feel that feels a little too big for them. Let's let's maybe move them. It's a smaller one. Is this one here? Oh yeah, that's maybe better for them because it's a bit smaller. Okay, where's my animal? So it's in transit. As soon as it gets there, I'll move it again. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to move you over here. And this is going to be Algebra Giant Tortoise. Is this Algebra? Yeah, I think so. Okay, Algebra Giant Tortoise. We're going to give you... Oh, this is a walkthrough one. Should be alright for tortoises, I think. I don't imagine tortoises are going to go around and bite guests and stuff, so I feel like that's okay. Beds and shelter. I don't know. Time will tell. I guess we'll find out when things happen. So that's our tortoise, and then what else we got? Animal treating. Animal treating. An alpine ibis. Maybe they might be quite good in this one here. Let's give it a go. If I have to restart that, well, that's fine. Let's get them in here. So that was an alpine ibis. Let's see what they need. They need a food trough. Some water. I think they've kind of got bedding under here. Yeah, they've got bedding under there, so they've kind of got a natural shelter, so we don't need to build that, and then they need enrichment. Okay. I feel like we are going to need some more keepers, because I've just been adding animals in here willy-nilly. So let's assign them to front animals, sunken animals, and front animals, and I think another one for sunken. Okay. Feeding trough station cannot be reached. Not ideal. If I put it over there, will that reach it? Well, if I get an alert, I guess I'll know. How are we getting on? So, we still need to get our research happening. So what is happening with our research? African leopard, very slow. I'm going to train my staff up. Maybe that'll help them be faster. Okay, so we're waiting on that leopard research, and then we're going to do tortoise research, increase African spurred tortoise education rating to 20%. Do I have bins? I didn't even check that. Actually, do I have donation boxes as well? Oh god, I didn't even check that. Yep, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but let's just shove some bins around and some donation boxes around where appropriate. And okay, so there is some bins around. I can't see any donation boxes around either, so I'm just gonna dot them around everywhere because I'm gonna be putting animals in all these places anyway, so I don't know. We've got to be able to have them, right? I don't know. I've just put them everywhere. Hopefully that'll work. I don't even know what this section is here, but I assume all the shops. Again, I don't know. We'll work it out. Power source requires repair. Okay. Also, that leads me to think that I just need to double check work zones. Yeah, I didn't put that in there, did I? Okay. So, we've got people coming in our zoo. Tickets are underpriced. Alright, we'll increase that again. 11. And we're just waiting on some research, and then we should be able to get some enrichment, which is great. So, adopt and place 2 spectacled bears. So, I feel like we need to leave one of our little sunken habitats, which I feel like this one looks good for bears. So, we'll leave this one for spectacled bears. Wow, like it's a little tunnel habit. I don't even know how the zookeepers... Oh, they get in through this way. Look, they go down through here, and they go in through this way to get down to that. Oh, that's cool. So we're going to call that spectacled bears. Okay, so that's our spectacled bear habitats. We'll put that aside, so that's good to go. Have at least 5 different habitat species in the zoo. By the time we get our spectacled bears in there, we might actually have that. Oh. God. Alright. So, I might need to reconsider the fencing. What were they? They were something alpine ibex? Yeah, there we go. What do they need? Grade 2, 1.25 boundary requirement. Okay. So let's maybe go barriers and go up along here. Alright. So that's the problem. It was just like, kaboing! Here I am! So I feel like I need to build a second kind of enclosure around here. That isn't this piddly fencing that isn't working. You know what? I didn't need to delete all that other fencing around there anyhow, but I just needed to increase the height of the invisi fencing. I'm assuming that's what I need to do. Let's just see if that works. Increasing the height of the invisi fencing, and let's just see what happens. I don't know what I'm doing. Shocking, I know. Okay, so I'm just watching this ibex, and it's kind of walking around on the edge, but I feel like it can't get past the thing. So I think, like in the no, oh no, no. Shoot. Ibexes are a problem. Okay, let's go emergency capture. So, ibexes do not go well in the sunken thing. Good to know. Good to know. Learn a lesson there. So we're going to move the ibexes out of there. That went terribly. And we'll move them in somewhere maybe over this way a little bit. Okay, let's get these lovely ibexes, once they're captured, moved over to the to their new home over here with higher fences and less chance of jumping, I hope. I've made it... Now I'm concerned. I was going to say I've made it about 3 meters tall. I might feel that... I feel like that's taller. But I'm going a little taller. Okay, as soon as they've captured, then we will get them back over here. And I'm just going to go alpine ibex. And we'll get in some food and water and shelter. And we'll use that other enclosure for something else. God. Okay. Okay, beds and shelter. Maybe a little bit of a small one. Oh, sounds like there's a lot of screaming going on, which does not sound ideal. Could be wrong. Okay, we'll get them moved into this area over here, and we'll get that into a work zone. They jumped out already again. Oh! I was too slow. Oi! Beware the ibex. Okay, as soon as they're back in their habitat, I'm getting them over there. Oi, we really need that research to happen. Oh my gosh. This has been really hard so far. I know this is going to be a hard zoo. I have my very big feelings on this. Okay, I think they're captured. One of them's captured. Okay, alpine ibex. Let's move them quickly to here. Phew, okay. So they should be good. Now this one here. Move over here. Okay. I think we're okay. Right, yes, I think we are. Phew! We'll rename this because this will belong to somebody else at some stage that can't jump. A non-jumping animal will go in there. Yeah, I know. I haven't set up my work zones yet. Don't at me. Don't at me. God. Don't at me. I know it's not done yet. Dangerous fighting due to overcrowding. African leopards. Oh, God. Oh, again, this is going to be, I already know, this is going to be a tough one. We haven't even finished, like, level 1 research yet. We haven't even researched one animal yet, and the research is going to be a big part of this. I'm going to, the hip pause. There was something I was going to be doing. What was it? Oh, stuff. Front animals. Okay, so let's go a look at our leopards. Okay, so Jafari needs to be, what did we need to do with the African leopards? Release 3 African leopards to the wild. Alright, so release him to the wild. So he's out of the zoo, so we shouldn't have any fighting, I don't think. Oh my wow. Without a vendor. Do we have any vendors? Staffing, vendors. I mean, we've got lots of vendors. So in theory, we should be... It'll fix itself, I'm sure. Cannot reach the habitat. Okay, we've sorted that problem out. And dangerous fighting due to overcrowding. So that's our African leopards. So that should also be sorted. Oh my gosh, what a start to the suit. I'm going to wrap it up there. We're not even going to get through the bronze objectives today. I looked at it and thought, yeah, easy. Ha 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 ha. Funny. Good laugh on me. So that has not been easy. It's going to be a lot. We've got a lot to do. We've got to increase our African spurred tortoise education rating to 20%. I'm not entirely certain how to do that, so we might need to do, actually I feel like we might need to do a little talk here, so let's just set up another little talk area here. Try to anyway. Okay, do the seating there, and we'll have our talk zone there. Oh, stop it. Then we'll get like link seating, boom, confirm, and then we'll go African spurred tortoise, and we'll do that in July. I feel like our talks are all like start of the year, so let's get that, and we'll get another educator. So we've got a couple of educators. Hopefully that'll work with that. We're still waiting on the research so we can do our toy enrichment, and we can increase our... We also need to do that for our African leopard. So we're researching... Start again. African leopard is being researched. So we need to get them up to 90% welfare, which we can't do until we've done the research. Then we need to research the African spurred tortoise, which we're not going to research until we've done the other one, although I'm thinking maybe if I'm keeping an eye on money, if we have enough cash, I might get another vet in another research centre. It seems like a lot though. We're going to release 3 African leopards to the wild. We've done 1 so far, and we're going to do some animal talks as well. So, fingers crossed that'll all work out, but we're going to try that again next episode. And see how we get on. It's been a wild time. Oh, look at that. Look at all the people at my talk. Oh, look. That's awesome. I want to see whether or not we get our tick for that. Look at them go. They're crowding around. They're listening hard. I mean, I feel like, they're enjoying their talk. All through September. Yeah, there he goes. That's a little yakety yak. Oh my gosh. That's exciting. He looks like it's being entertaining, so that's fantastic. But that's cool. We've got that's a talk on the porcupine, right? I think it's the talk on the porcupine. So that's working out quite well. And then we'll have another talk over there. So we'll have a couple of education points, which is great. I probably should have set this up near the tortoises, but I didn't, so I live with the consequences of that. And we'll have 2 talking points. The doi. And that's the end of the animal talk, I believe. But we didn't get a tick for it. Curious. Maybe that only comes up at the end of the year. Alright guys, we'll find out next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have had fun. Remember, hit subscribe if you haven't done that already, and I will catch you next time around. Bye-bye.